Hello, good morning. It is a very beautiful sunny day here in Argyll, and I am making a quick video on this a day in June, um, 10th, I think. Um, I have been away for this week on a residential, Monday to Thursday, with primary sevens who are about to go to high school, and it was their sort of transition residential, three schools. Two were mine, and then one other. I took 12 children and it was absolutely fantastic. I think a week ago I was dreading it. And I think that the theme of today is probably that thing of dread because, I think at 53, nearly 54, I can look back and realize that dread is a huge part of my kind of way of being, and also the thing that sort of drives me to get things done. But I think it's just worth acknowledging that I think that's a huge part of ADHD, because the whole thing about executive function and not really being able to have a strong sense of sort of time or maybe history, maybe it's that. So I think it's that sort of that Dory moment of, each thing seems like a new thing, and it takes a lot to go, no, wait a minute, I've done this before and it was okay. So what tends to happen is in the moment, it's just like huge anxiety. How am I going to do this? I haven't got the skills to do this. I'm too tired. I just can't. And then it's that inability to go, no, it'll be fine because it's been fine before, without huge effort. So I think I can do that if I stop, or I write down, or I chat it through with somebody. But it isn't that instinctive feeling of, yeah, I've got this, I can do this. And that means that a lot of my life is fear and dread and anxiety. And that's fine because it means that I'm then driven to do things. But it's quite tiring, and it can also all feel quite negative because it's like it stops you from looking forward to things. Um, so yeah, I think because what happened was a week ago I went to a lovely um, cocktail party for my friend's birthday, and I was saying, oh, I'm going away next week on a residential, and I'm just dreading it. I've just got this. And my friend, who I very rarely see, said, but you were like this before once when you went on an Outward Bound residential. And then it was brilliant. And I was like, oh God, yeah, I was. And even though cognitively I knew that, I still had that absolute sort of sickening feeling of anxiety and dread. And this is also true when, I used to do a lot of, well, no, I don't do so much now, but I used to do big school productions and drama, and I'd be like, this is going to be the worst one ever. And everyone would go, no, but you always say this. And then I'd be like, no, but this one's for real. It's going to be the worst one ever because I haven't prepared enough, and again, it's always about I haven't. It's going to be down to me if it fails. And I've been doing a lot of work in therapy on this, about where that comes from. That feeling of, if everything goes wrong, it's going to be my fault. Um, and the flip side of all of that is that I hyper prepare. I'm hyper vigilant. Um, so on the whole, things get done well. But even saying that now, I'm just sitting here with this sense of, oh my God, now I've said it, I'm going to jinx all the things in the future. Um, And what's, I think, important is for me to have time to stop and think and reflect. I think it's true for all of us, and I know that someone I know last night put a tweet up of like, here's the positive things from this week, and it is important to do that and to retrain your brain. But I think the difficulty for me has been that in this first year of being a head teacher, um, there's just it's not a question of here's the amazing things I've done. It's like I've had to do these things. That's the job of a head teacher. And it's not amazing or anything. It's just that's the job of a head teacher. I've done the things that needed to be done. Maybe, but yeah. Anyway, so it's hard to maybe find those times to stop and reflect when you're a head teacher because it's very busy, and we have recruitment issues, and I've been teaching 3.5 days a week, and yeah, so it'd be nice to have a bit more time and space to reflect and to stop and to help my brain maybe to learn that I don't need that overwhelming sense of panic and dread. But as this sounds ridiculous. As my therapist said, as my therapist said, if I'm going to use my hypervigilance and drivenness somewhere, it's like, where do I choose to use it? And at the moment, I'm choosing to use it for the good of children and education. And that's the bit, I suppose, again, a different therapist years back said to me, are you driven by fear or are you driven by values? And I think for me, I am, in spite of it all, I'm always, I always have my values at the center. And so that thing of like, fearfully being driven into something that's not ethical or right, that's not going to happen. I suppose that's reassuring. And perhaps that's something I've learned with time. Maybe, maybe when I was younger, I didn't have that maybe sense of why am I doing this? Although to be fair, I've never been a merchant banker or something that I suppose I would consider to be, sorry, merchant bankers, but a job that doesn't have that sense of kind of ethical values based stuff. And I'm going to end with, I don't really want to end with Boris Johnson, but I just hope this could be the beginning of a change. Because again, truth is really important. And I think that if we can stop and reflect on our truth and talk about why we're doing things honestly and openly, then other people will understand that. And the difficulty is that even if we do that, we still get misunderstood. So I can make these videos every week, and there are still people that think that I'm selfish, or I'm a bully, or I'm doing things for the wrong reasons. And for me, it's always about taking time to stop and say to those people, no, here's the reality of why we're doing this. And I think that we can explain our truth over and over and over, and it can still get misinterpreted. But if you don't explain it, and if you just carry on regardless, then I think that's unforgivable when you're in a position of leadership and authority. And so I'm hopeful that we get a different type of leader moving forward. Not that Boris Johnson's been a leader for quite some time, but I think the influence that he's had is probably, I don't think we can measure it yet. There we go. 7 minutes, 24 seconds of waffle. Really tired. Huge anxiety about all the things I've now got to do in the last three weeks of term. Need to rest. But we'll take some time this weekend to just get back to some routines. So first thing, make the video. I'm going to go and do some yoga, and then we'll see how it all pans out. So stay well, stay safe, take care. Thanks for watching if you're watching, and that's me. Bye for now.